Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. I'm an empath and psychic, and for today's video we're going to be looking at a Reddit post, and we're going to be focusing on the Reddit post for Am I the A-hole? And we're going to be looking at more witchy and tarot related themes and kind of seeing what's going on and if people are the a-holes or not. And so if you don't know what this subreddit is, basically it's a place where people are asking if they are in the wrong or if they're in the right, and then they kind of tell a little bit of what happened and give some context for the events that unfolded, and then they let Reddit decide if they are the a-hole or not. And the reason that I'm saying a-hole is because of YouTube. I don't know if we are allowed to curse or not on this platform, so I'm trying to play it safe. So I'm gonna have the Reddit post and the people who posted it on the side here so you can read along. So the first one is, am I the a-hole for buying a tarot deck? And so it goes, for some backstory, my mom and I, female 18, recently moved in with her girlfriend and have been living with her for only a few months, and their whole relationship has been moving fast, so I still don't know a whole lot about jewels. Back in September, I finally decided to make the jump and brought myself a training tarot deck, which was expensive, almost $45, not too bad, but still a pretty penny. When I ordered, I had excitedly told both my mom and Jules at that time, and they said nothing. A little bit after, I also got myself the classic Rider Tarot deck, just for looks, and when it arrived, my mom told me that I was never allowed to use it in the house, and when I pressed why, I learned Jules had a bad history with witchcraft and has a bad spirit attached to her. I promised to never use them in the house, but yesterday my second pack arrived. I left it laying out on accident while we were packing to move into the new place, and I think my mom picked them up and did something with them and threatened if I brought any of my tarot cards with me to the new house, I should find another place to live. I only recently turned 18 and still can't drive and don't have anywhere else to go. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for buying these cards without knowing that they make my mom's girlfriend uncomfortable? And then there's an edit. A few people here and a few of my friends are suggesting I find somewhere else to live. I'm gonna message my grandmother and dad to see if they have any room for me, and in exchange I'll help with bills because I do have my own job and make my own money and pay for my own phone bill and support my dog. Okay. So there's kind of a lot to unpack there. So the first thing is, one, you didn't know that your mom or that her girlfriend were gonna have this issue. So just going out and buying something that's not even illegal to buy, it's not like you have to be a certain age to do it. And also if you're 18, you can buy whatever you want. You didn't really have to ask permission, especially if you didn't think that there was gonna be an issue with it. It's not like you had malicious intent where you knew that they weren't okay with it and you were going behind their back. Second of all, with the girlfriend saying that she has a bad spirit attached to her and had a bad experience with witchcraft, I do think that that is true, because I actually have a friend who had a bad experience and had a spirit attached to her and stuff when she was a lot younger. Now she's currently a tarot reader. So my thing is, if that's true, if she has a spirit attached to her, one, why is she not trying to get that fixed? Get that spirit away from you. You don't want to be walking around with attachments. And two, the tarot cards aren't going to be the issue with it. I understand her being afraid of witchcraft, but to be going so extreme where it's not even they're coming at it from hey, this happened to me, be careful, I feel uncomfortable with you doing this because of some of the things in the past, and I want you to protect yourself, and I don't think this is good. They're not coming at it from a loving standpoint where they're trying to caution you in any way. They're going at it as in, you can't do this in my house, and find a different place to live, and it feels it's very controlling, and they don't want you to do things that either they disagree with, or they're just trying to control you from thinking on your own. Because a lot of the times when it comes to tarot readers and stuff, it's more so it creates a spiritual awakening within yourself where you start to evaluate the things around you and what you're doing with your life, the people you have in your lives. And so it feels it's more of a way to control you than it is for them actually concerned for you. So I definitely think it is a good thing that you are going and looking for a different place to live, because they're coming at it from the wrong approach. And so that kind of makes me question the real reason and motivation for doing this. I mean, maybe she actually has an actual attachment, because I know attachments can make you act a little bit crazy, and they can really make you in a very low vibrational energy. So maybe that's what's going on with her, but your mom then has to be the bigger person and actually approach this in a respectful way for both people, and not just be this is my house, my rules. So I definitely feel you're not in the wrong here, and it's good that you were looking into the next steps to protect yourself. So the next post is, am I that a-hole for cleaning my cousin's crystals? So it goes, I'm a 19-year-old guy. 4 days ago, my cousin asked me if I could stay at her house while she was out of town to take care of her pets and clean the house. She has a huge collection of crystal stones, geodes, gems. I don't really know what she does with so many crystals, but they are really beautiful. During these 4 days, I was in charge of her pets and making a deep clean of her house so that when she came back, she would find everything very clean and like new. When I was looking at the crystals, I noticed that they were quite dusty and some had dirt stains, so naturally, I decided to clean them. I was very careful not to damage them, and I looked in geology forums how to clean them properly. Today, as soon as she arrived, she noticed that some of the crystals were in the wrong position, to which I mentioned that I had carefully cleaned and dusted them. This infuriated her. She told me that I should not touch the crystals because of their energies, and that moving them at the wrong moon time would ruin them. I honestly don't understand what she means by that, and asked her, to which she says, you're a man, you wouldn't understand. Then for a good 10 minutes, she talked to me about the energies and that I'm an idiot for touching the crystals, and that she would now have to do an energy cleanse for what I did at the house, that I am an a-hole and never to speak to her again or go to her house. Confused when I got home, hoping she calmed down, I tried to call her, but she had me blocked everywhere. I don't really understand what just happened. Am I the a-hole? Update. Let me update my story. She spoke to me today saying that she thinks she was an idiot for getting mad like that because she thought at the time that one of the rocks was broken due to me cleaning it. Today she remembered that she accidentally dropped it a few weeks ago and some parts broke of it. She also says that she was not in the right ascendant, which she just says justifies her actions. We talked and she told me that really the rocks are not a problem and thank you very much for everything. That I left her crystals very nice and her pets very well fed. I won't really help her with those things again, but I'd rather she didn't hate me. So that was a bit to unpack. So I think it's good that you were all like able to be able to move on and that you're glad that you're back on good terms. I definitely think it was an overreaction, especially because she was upset that you broke them and she didn't even say that to you. She was just coming at you, making you think she was upset for cleaning them. Which that's very nice to do. You were taking care of her home, taking care of her pets, and then also took care of her crystals. So you're doing all these favors for her, which you didn't have to do. And then what I don't love is the fact that she was justifying it by saying that she was in the wrong ascension or ascendant. Because to me, it's there's not a reason to justify when someone's doing all those nice things for you to be at the point where you're blocking them. That's definitely an overreaction. I get it. If I thought someone broke one of my crystals, yeah, I might be a little bit pissed. I'm why would you do that? But also if my crystals were very dirty and dusty and someone cleaned them and accidentally broke one, I probably wouldn't get pissed to the point of blocking them. I might be very upset because some crystals are expensive, so I understand that, but I wouldn't be blocking them if it was an actual accident. And I also don't love the part of you're a man, so you wouldn't understand, because it's there's guys who are into crystals, there's guys who are witches and stuff. It's not it's gender specific, and also it's not it's something, even if men weren't into it, it's not they couldn't understand it. So I think that's very weird. But yeah, it definitely is just because maybe you did overreact, it's that's your emotion. Yeah, you apologize, but don't blame it on I was in the wrong ascendant, because it's we're all human. We can't just go around being mean to people for no reason, justifying it for that reason. So that's what I think is a little bit might be leaning on some toxic behavior. Just take accountability. Be you know what, I overreacted. I thought it was bigger than it was. I thought that it was broken when really that was my fault and I shouldn't have done that, and I'm sorry. So I'm glad that everything worked out for you two now and that you seem to be past it, but I would be a little bit cautious with them, because it's she shouldn't have overreacted and then justify it and explain it away. It should be oh no, I was in the wrong, and you shouldn't be the one asking if you're in the wrong. She should be the one asking that. So that's kind of my opinions on that, is that it's a very over dramatic response, and then to come back and be well, it wasn't really my fault, it was all this other stuff, energetically wise. No, just take accountability. So that's where I kind of feel about the whole topic. So this next post is, am I the a-hole for sleeping with the crystal under my pillow and not telling my boyfriend? I, 21 female, know that the title might sound weird, but please bear with me. My boyfriend, 23 male, is so upset right now. So I recently brought my first crystals and have been sleeping with one under my pillow. Depending on what I felt I needed, I would sleep with one under my pillow. I've been getting better sleep, having extremely vivid dreams, and wake up feeling refreshed and great. Last night I slept over at my boyfriend's house and brought my rose quartz with me to keep under my pillow. Rose quartz is known to promote love and self-love, inner healing, peace, and I just was having a day where I wasn't feeling myself and felt good the last time I slept slept with it under my pillow at my own place. This morning he woke up and told me he had a really vivid dream about me that made him feel good about us. I told him that was sweet and then jokingly said, oh, maybe my rose quartz did that. Haha, I had it under my pillow. I've heard the energy can also transfer to someone in bed with you. He instantly freaked out and said, you what? I tried to explain that it isn't harmful. He was still angry and said I should have told him, and he would have told me to sleep in his guest room if I needed the crystal under my pillow, and hasn't said much to me since. I tried to hop in bed with him just now and he said, if you're bringing that crystal shit into bed again, please go sleep downstairs. I've been in the guest room upset, contemplating if I should just go home, but I'm also wondering if I was wrong and should go apologize for not saying anything. So I'm assuming that this is like a very small crystal. I'm assuming you didn't have a crystal that is like this rose quartz here, where this one's big. Like, okay, if someone had that under their pillow, I might be a little bit like, wait, why didn't you tell me? Like, that could hurt me. I'm assuming it was like normal size, like probably tumbled stone, where like if you sleep with it under your pillow, no one's really gonna know. Personally, I don't know why he's freaking out. I wouldn't think there's anything strange by it. I am someone who's into crystals, but I also feel like if I wasn't into crystals, it might be his misconception about crystals, where he could think that rose quartz is like making him love you or something, but rose quartz is more for self-love. So like maybe he thinks it's a love spell. I think maybe that's like something to talk to him about and have him understand that sleeping with a crystal is not the same as a love spell. Like, you're not trying to, you know, do anything like witchy with him. I think that could be like his fear, because otherwise I don't know why he's freaking out about a crystal, because it can't do anything to him. And even if it influenced his dream, it's a dream. It's not real. Like, it's not going to hurt you. So I don't feel like you are the a-hole for this. I don't think that you're in the wrong, but I think maybe you two need to have a conversation so he understands that you weren't doing anything to him, because I think that could be what he's afraid of. But if he then understands what a crystal is and is still like freaking out about it, I would kind of say like that's a little bit of a red flag, where he's one, not even listening to you, and he two is like flipping out over something that's not really a big issue. And so that's kind of showing me that he's probably not the best person to work out issues with, and maybe you don't want to be with someone where you can't like work things out rationally, because I don't feel like you're in the wrong. But I do understand, for someone who's uneducated with crystals, especially when you hear about rose quartz, you can think that it is like a love crystal. So he might think it's a hex or something. So I really would say have a conversation with him, explain what a crystal is and what it does, and explain what it doesn't do. And then see how he reacts, and then by that see if he's worth keeping in your life or not. Like, if he listens to you and it's just a big misunderstanding, I think that's fine. You know, we're all human, we all understand things differently, and if it's something he really didn't know, and if he freaked out based on the knowledge that he had, if it was wrong, and he's willing to be like, oh, okay, sorry for freaking out, I thought it was this, I think you both can move on. But if not, just be a little bit cautious and watch his actions moving forward. So this next post is, am I the a-hole for getting upset with my cousin over tarot cards? So I, 25 female, got my cousin, 25 male, tarot cards for his birthday because we both have long thought the art and concept of them was neat. When I called his sister, 29 female, and told her excitedly about my gift, her reaction was not what I was expecting. She asked me why I would get them and that she thought they were anti-Christian. We are both religious. Her mom apparently raised her to be very anti-tarot, while my mom never made a very big deal out of it, and since her brother, who was not religious, had never said anything to me, I had no idea. I got defensive and the conversation got awkward, and I ended up changing the subject because I hate confrontation. A few days later, she texted me to tell me that she thought it was very wrong of me to judge her religious beliefs. When I tried to explain that I wasn't judging them, that I had felt very defensive over a gift that I was happy about, she basically told me that I was completely in the wrong and that she was tired of me assuming things and derailing our relationship. This came as a particularly sharp slap in the face, as we are both extremely close, rarely fight, and 9 out of 10 times I'm the one to make phone calls and send her texts, offer her emotional support, all of it. I have always been there to defend her, and I am always the one who picks up the phone even if she hasn't so much as texted me back in a month. I got very overwhelmed and told her if she did not want to even try to see where my feelings might be hurt, that I would rather drop the conversation, to which she said I wasn't acting like an adult, and that she didn't feel she could visit me over the holidays anymore if I wasn't willing to continue the conversation. I tried calling her, but she couldn't take the call because she wasn't at home. She rarely calls me back, and I told her I wouldn't keep speaking over text, but that I loved her and would not have ever intentionally hurt her feelings. She did not respond to that and has not called despite it going on 2 weeks. We normally at least text several times a week. Part of me doesn't want to call her because I am always the one to call and always the one to apologize with her and everyone else in my life. Honestly, I don't care about tarot cards and probably would have just sucked up my own feelings of being hurt by her negative reaction and apologized if she hadn't made the comment and me being the one who derails us. So I just don't know if I want to be the one that calls this time. I don't want to be the one who puts in all the effort anymore. Like I said, she and I never fight, and this is definitely the longest fight over the stupidest thing. I just don't feel like I can call without compromising my own feelings, but I also don't want to be immature by not just biting the bullet and reaching out if she won't. Edit, I should add that while I usually initiate apologies, my cousin, to clear confusion, she's like my cousin, but we were raised close and are more like sisters, has always been understanding on my side of things in the past and willing to see where she went wrong too. That's why this has been such a shocking turn. She's got a lot of her own problems, including severe depression and anxiety, as well as struggling failing relationship with the father of her 3 kids. This is the worst fight we've ever had, and she hasn't been nasty or anything, just won't seem to even see where I'm coming from, and she wasn't awkward or anything when she asked me why I got the gift, which is why my reaction, I got snappy and shut down on her, probably hurt her feelings. She was more shocked about the gift, I think, because we are normally on the same page with things. Our moms are sisters, so they were raised with the same beliefs. My mom was always just less strict about certain things. So I can understand her feelings of my reaction being strong. I just feel that after I explained where I was coming from, she should have been more understanding of my mindset, because she always has been before. But instead I felt like she took it too far by saying she was done with me assuming things and derailing us. She's not usually judgmental about things and is usually pretty open to other ways of thinking and living. And when I definitely call/text more, she has still been a good support and friend to me. She just tends to leave me hanging much more often than I do her, which is why I don't think she's fully being an a-hole. And if I actually spoke to her, we'd probably clear things up. But I don't want to have to be the one who calls, which is maybe pathetic. But yeah, the whole thing is probably pathetic. But she has been my best friend since we were kids, and while I think she has been crappy in a lot of ways during this, she is not a crappy person. Okay, so one, I do agree from personal experience, texting can create a lot of issues and misunderstandings and stuff, and so if you are trying to like clear the air, sometimes calling is the best way. I don't think that you are the a-hole. I think more so this is really just a big miscommunication, and I feel like maybe there's previous issues that are being brought up to the surface by it, because I think with the tarot cards, one, I don't think you're in the wrong for buying your other cousin the tarot cards, because according to you, your other cousin isn't as religious. So to me, it's like, if he's not religious, it doesn't really matter if his sister is or not. The gift is for him. And if she doesn't like tarot cards, but he likes it, it's his gift. So it has nothing to do with her or her side of the family, you know? So I definitely don't think you're wrong for the present. I think where things went wrong is you got upset with her asking about the cards, and then because of that, it snowballed into this bigger thing, where I kind of feel like this is kind of a situation in which it's a miscommunication that needs to be resolved, and there's probably past issues affecting it, which, because I don't have the context of, I can't say like who is actually in the wrong. I understand if you don't want to call, if you feel like you're always the one who's calling, but at the same time, if it's going to solve things and make things easier, you can call. It doesn't mean you have to apologize, but like when you talk, sometimes it's a lot more effective because you're not reading things with a certain tone. Because I know, like in the past, when I've been in fights with people over texting, it's because you can't sense the tone, and so you don't know how people are phrasing it, and if you're upset, you're going to be reading it in a negative tone. My camera shut off, but what I was saying is, like, when you are reading something with a negative tone, that might not be how the person is wanting it to come across, and so if you talk on the phone, you can kind of overcome that. So I would say, as far as like wanting to solve it, I would say if you want, just call, don't apologize, but at least like work it out if this is someone who's important to you and you want to keep her in your life. I feel like maybe in the past you have been the one who's been felt more pushed over, so definitely address that, but I wouldn't like ruin the relationship, especially because you are family, over something that you said yourself that you don't really care too much about. So that's just kind of some things to consider. So then the last Reddit post we have is, am I the a-hole for playing Ouija when my girlfriend doesn't like it? Throwaway account because my friend choose Reddit. Yesterday my girlfriend told me she doesn't like people messing with the supernatural, but I didn't know she really hated it. When she told me, I had already played with my mom and absolutely nothing happened. I don't believe in the paranormal, and I don't think anything happens on a $10 plastic board made by Hasbro. Tonight my friends and I played with a bunch of candles in a dark room because it sounded fun. Nothing happened and we kind of laughed over it, but then my girlfriend told me how much she hates people disrespecting the supernatural and that I wasn't playing anything, and I messed with things that I shouldn't have. Apparently she got a tarot card reading a couple years ago and it was super specific, and she doesn't think anything paranormal should ever be messed with. I didn't think she would blow up and yell at me and send paragraphs to me about it. Am I the a-hole for this? Edit. People have been asking me if she was in the house when I played it with my friends. No. Edit again. I didn't live with her. I played with my friends on my house and she wasn't anywhere near me. I told her I played out of honesty because I felt it would be better than keeping it a secret. So with this, I understand where the girlfriend's coming from, because I've certain things that just creep me out that I wouldn't want to do. So I understand if that's how she feels about Ouija boards. But at the same time, if it's something I don't want to do, it doesn't mean that the people I love and care about can't do them. You know, I might be like, hey, be super careful when you do this. Like, make sure that you're being protected. Make sure that you're not doing anything that feels bad. And I might sage you when you come home. But I wouldn't be like, no, you can't do it. I understand that it could creep her out, and so it's a fear base for her. But if you have done it, nothing has happened, and you think of it as a game, you don't even believe in the paranormal, then I kind of feel like it's not her place to tell you what you can and can't do when it's not even involving her, because you did it with your friends at your own house. She doesn't live with you, so it's not like you're crossing any of her boundaries or disrespecting her in any way. And so it's kind of one of those things you just have to look at it on like a relationship level. Like, is it something that is super important to you? Because it seems like it's important to your girlfriend. So it's like, is this something that's super important to you where you feel like you want to be able to play with the Ouija board, even though you know that it's something that she's very uncomfortable with? Or would you rather compromise, maybe don't play with the Ouija board if it's going to make her feel better, regardless if you believe in it or not? Because obviously, like, she feels a type of way about it. So I don't think you're an a-hole, but I definitely think, like, as far as this relationship goes, you got to figure out what your boundary is with the relationship. Like, if you're going to compromise and do what's going to make her feel more comfortable, or if you're going to be like, no, I'm still going to play it and just have her deal with her feelings. Because I think there is a little bit, yes, your partner shouldn't be able to tell you what to do, but I think if it's something where she has such strong feelings about it, there's going to have to be some sort of conversation where someone is compromising somewhere, because she does have very like strong feelings about it, and regardless if you believe in her reasoning for it, it's obviously important to her. I also feel like when it comes to Ouija boards and like the paranormal and stuff, it's like that is something that can be very scary for some people. And so if that's something that's very scary for her and like her past experience, that is going to be something where it's probably going to be difficult for her to be okay with you doing it. So like I said, I don't feel like she should be telling you what to do, but I also understand like there's certain boundaries in relationships that, you know, you tell your partner you don't want them to do, and they do the same for you, and there's like a compromise on like what you're willing to do. So I feel like that's a discussion that needs to be a result of this, because I don't feel like it's fair to either of you for her to be so stressed out about this, but also for you to not be able to do what you want to do. No one really is the a-hole. It's kind of like learning how to navigate your own relationship. But I definitely feel like this is something where it's like, how often do you play with the Ouija board? Because if this is something that you really like to do, that's going to be something where it's going to be really uncomfortable and probably difficult to have a relationship with her. So yeah, that's just kind of some things to consider. And like, I feel like anyone can take that advice where it's like, you know, if your partner is really against something and you're really for it, something's got to give eventually. So that was the last post that I had. So really, I don't think anyone that we read today was really the a-hole. I feel like it's all like something where there's either more details that we don't have, that we can't make a full assessment of the situation, or it's like they were okay, it was just a miscommunication or something. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, or even if some of the advice applies to you in different ways, I hope that it was helpful for you. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like it, definitely make sure that you're subscribed and turn on that bell notification so you see when I post my next video. I post multiple videos every week, including more videos like this. I also post educational videos to help you all on your spiritual journeys, and I also post readings, so that's pick a pile readings, zodiac readings, and collective readings. And I'm going to have more videos linked in the cards above if you want to watch them next, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Have a good one. Bye.